What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Sorry if y'all hear my air on. It is 30 something degrees outside, and yeah, it's too cold not to have the heat on. Anyway, we're gonna jump right into this video because it is like almost 7 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't go to work this morning because I have a rheumatology appointment. If you haven't gone to watch those videos, make sure you go watch them. Like I said, a lot of times my videos coincide with one another. I'll bring up information from a previous video, so make sure you go and watch it. But I'll leave it in a card above. The reason I'm going to the rheumatologist is in regards to why I got sent to the hospital back in May. And also, sorry if y'all came from another video and y'all hear my voices change. I got sick that night that I went to that light show because my dad has a Tesla, and it does this. If you know somebody with a Tesla or your family has a Tesla, you may know that basically the car is like a computer. So it has like this feature on it where you can make the car dance to a Christmas song. And my dad wanted to do it for the other people that were, or my mom wanted to do it for the other people that were in line with us during waiting to see the drive-through light show. And for some reason it wasn't working, so we would like hop out of the car, because you can't be in the car, you have to lock the car, and the car can tell if somebody is sitting in it, so everybody has to get out. And then you have to like wait for it to start, and for some reason it wasn't starting. So we were like standing outside the car for maybe 5-10 minutes, and me and my mom got head cold. So yeah, I made a short story long, but yeah. So jumping right into this, I'm going to answer, I can't remember her name, but I'll put it here. She asked would I make another PA video, just giving you guys an update, and here it is. So basically these past, I would say I started applying in September, August or September. I started applying. I started taking I took the GRE again. Didn't really get the score that I needed. Hold on, because I feel like my lips is ashy, and y'all have been telling me when my lips be ashy in these videos. Okay, so I started applying August, September for schools whose deadlines were like October, November. I don't think I had any that were December. Majority of them skipped to like January or March of next year. So yeah, this application process was a whole lot more intensive than my last application process, because technically last year I didn't even apply because I didn't have my organic chemistry class. So I was like, a lot of schools are asking for organic chemistry, so I'm gonna have to take it. And then I applied this cycle. I've heard 3 no's. It's like 3 or 4 no's out of the 12 schools that I applied to. None of them are in Florida except for one, which is Barry University down in Miami, where I used to go to school at FIU, which is also in Miami. Barry is a private college, but their master's program, they don't charge like any different from any of the other schools that I've been looking at that aren't private. But yeah, I feel like it's because of COVID that I haven't really heard anything from these schools, because a lot of them sent me emails saying that if you don't hear something from us, just give us time, like we'll get back to you, whether it's a no or a yes, or we want to pursue with an interview. And even the interviews, they're doing virtual. So I think a long time ago, I made a video when I was a scribe manager, and one of my employees, she would have to travel for her med school interviews. Now because of COVID, all interviews are virtual. Of course, they don't want to risk you getting on the plane and catching something, or you being asymptomatic and bringing something there during the interview. Of course, we know how COVID is working, and it's easy to pass it along or contract it. So no, I don't have COVID. This is not COVID. This is literally just a head cold because I was outside and I wasn't fully prepared to be standing outside in 50-something degree weather. I was halfway dressed, planning on staying in the car the whole night. But yeah, I don't really have too much of an update, which is why I didn't really make this video in a sense, because I haven't really heard anything. Like, other than no's, I haven't gotten an invitation for an interview. My best friend, he applied to a master's program for occupational therapy, and he had his interview last week. If you guys are interested in occupational therapy, I can bring my best friend onto my channel and we can talk about our application processes, because when I was telling him about my application process, he did not understand like why I had to go through everything that I went through. So I'll go through like what one application would have consisted of. So if you're trying to apply to PA school, you need to be familiar with CASPA. I don't know what the acronym stands for. I'll put it up here. But this is the application website for people who are applying to PA schools. This website has every single PA school out there that is accredited, receiving accreditation, or in the process of beginning a new PA program. You can narrow down your search to when you want to apply, what schools are accepting, what region. You can narrow down your results however you want to. But the only thing is that you have to input all of your information before you begin applying. So luckily enough, my information transferred from my last application cycle, not all of it, but some of it. One thing that messed me up was because I did take that organic chemistry class, I had to resend my transcripts, and I didn't know that until I submitted my money and my application, and they were like, hey, on here you said that you took organic chem, but we don't have that updated transcript. You need to send it in or they won't accept your application. So that kind of messed me up. There's also some schools that ask you to take a, I don't know if it's like an aptitude test. If that's even the right description to give it. I forget what it's called, but I'll also put it up here somewhere. But it's basically like testing your critical thinking and your personality, just to see like, will you be able to handle certain situations and how you would react to them. So some schools ask for you to do that. University of Florida, which is where my dad graduated from, my top two schools were University of Florida and Emory University in Georgia, because my sister stays there. I have a lot of family in Georgia, so it would cut down on my housing costs because I would just stay with my sister. But yeah, I didn't apply to those this cycle just because I didn't have my GRE scores that I needed for Emory, and University of Florida asked for that extra test, and I didn't know that it doesn't transfer from the previous application cycle. So every year you have to retake that test. I didn't know that, and by the time it came to apply to University of Florida, like their deadline to take the test had already passed. So I was just like, well, okay, there's 12 other schools that I can apply to. I just need to go to school somewhere. So I can't name all of the schools that I applied to. If you guys want me to list it, I probably will. Again, I keep saying I'm gonna put stuff up on the screen, and it seems like it's gonna be a lot, but I'll list all of the schools that I applied to. So for one application, what it would consist of is your transcripts. You can add any achievements, such as, for me, I added honor societies that I had gotten accepted to, and also my sorority, because I'm in a graduate chapter and I'm not doing it as undergrad, so I'm still involved in it, so it's still considered an achievement. Then you would get your app or your transcripts verified by CASPA. Once you submit your applications, they don't verify your transcripts until you start submitting applications, which is why I told you guys it messed me up, because I didn't know that my organic chem transcript with that class on it and that grade hadn't been sent when I thought I did. After all of that information, it asks you about like your basic background information, and then certain specific applications ask for a curriculum vitae or curriculum vitae. Some people say it differently, but it's basically just a resume for your academic education, things that pertain specifically to PA school. So for instance, I put on, of course, my education. So I have my bachelor's degree in psychology. I also put on there any job that was related to healthcare, so patient care experience or just general healthcare experience. I was an intern in high school for 3 consecutive summers, so I put that on there, and any other job that I held that had to do with any type of healthcare related stuff, I put on that curriculum vitae. Some schools ask for it, some don't. Some schools ask for a cover letter, some don't. You have to be very detail oriented with these schools, just because, like I said, some schools ask for it, some don't.